And good morning, everybody. It's the Flight Sim Dude here with you once again. We're flying an Airbus 320 from Charlotte Douglas International Airport, taking off from runway 36 center, going to the Lambert Airport in St. Louis. We're landing there on 30 left. I'm using the two longest runways today. We're flying at a cruising altitude of 36,000 feet and flying IFR to there, and we are going to it's going to be warm in St. Louis. It's 76 degrees right there, believe it or not, under cloudy skies. And it's probably fairly warm in Charlotte this morning. So we're departing direct, and we're landing direct on ILS 30 left into St. Louis. So this is going to be a short hour and 37-minute flight to there, about 500 nautical miles to there. All right, let's find it, and let me just check something here. All right, flying out of gate 19. Let's see if that's available. C-19. Alrighty, we're gonna fly at 19. Alright, so let's get flying right now. Like I said, it's gonna be a short 1 hour, 37-minute flight to St. Louis today. Okay, it's not a fairly bad day in Charlotte. I mean, it's in and out of clouds there. We'll go in a couple minutes. I just want to show you what our jet looks like and at its assigned gate. So. Alrighty, let's get on board. And
Charlotte clearance delivery American 412 ready to copy IFR clearance to St. Louis.
American 412 cleared to St. Louis Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 18 left, climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Departure on 133.15 and squawk 7644. Okay, so we were supposed to take off 36 center. They changed us. Okay. Alright, so let's get configured right now. Flaps to 10. And flight director on. And 36,000 feet on altitude. Alright, we don't look to really have any precipitation on the way there, so I'm not going to do anti-ice. Alright, strobes on. Beacons on. Wing lights on. Nav and logo on. Runway turns on. Landing lights on. And taxi's on. No smoking's on, seatbelts on. All right, let's do our flight control checks. Right rudder, left rudder. Left and right ailerons. Elevators. Flight control check complete. Alrighty, let's get passengers on board and get everything underway here. Charlotte ground. American 412 requesting baggage, catering, and jetway connection.
Ground American 412 urgently send baggage.
All right, let's get our other info here. I can set altimeter here. Charlotte. All right. Looking like some broken clouds here. Temperature 21 Celsius, so 70 Fahrenheit. 30.07 on the altimeter, so I'm going to set that. All right, Charlotte's altitude is about 737 feet. Okay, we got a little issue going on the next gate over. It looks like a Spirit jet might be overlapping an American plane. That's interesting. Okay. And we see everyone's boarding here, so alrighty. Looks like we just about got everybody on board here, so let's start with the in-flight announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain, Rob Thibodeau speaking, along with my first officer, Casey Miyagi. Welcome aboard American Airlines Flight 412, service going down over to St. Louis. Weather in St. Louis is looking cloudy at this point, temperature of 76 there in St. Louis. Once we get to above 10,000 feet, our flight attendants will be serving you a series of snacks and beverages for your consumption pleasure. In the meantime, our main priority is your safety, so we're going to ask, once this announcement concludes, that you direct your attention to the flight attendants for a brief safety demonstration. Our cruising altitude this morning will be 36,000 feet, and we're looking pretty good on the way to St. Louis. No real bumps, no real lumps going on, so everybody sit back, relax, enjoy your flight. Our flight time into St. Louis is looking to be 1 hour 37 minutes at this point. So sit back, relax, enjoy your flight. We will be underway here shortly.
Welcome to your American Airlines flight. On its way to one of our many destinations across the globe. Made possible by our dedicated team members, who all do it for one reason. That's why your safety is so important to us. So let's go over some in-flight instructions so that we can get you safely on your way. To buckle your seatbelt, insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap to tighten. To open, lift the top of the buckle. And remember, seatbelts should be fastened whenever you're seated in case of unexpected turbulence. Now, make sure your seat is upright. All larger electronic devices are put away, carry-ons are placed all the way under the seat in front of you, and your tray table is stowed. Larger carry-on luggage goes in the overhead bin. If you have a handheld device, please switch it to airplane mode now. If your electronic device falls into your seat, please do not adjust your seat and contact a crew member for assistance. U.S. law prohibits smoking, including e-cigarettes, at any time. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the lavatories may result in a fine. U.S. law requires all to comply with lighted and posted signs and crew member instructions. Now let's review the safety card in your seat pocket, which explains the safety features of this airplane, including the location and operation of exits and flotation devices. This aircraft is designed with escape path lighting on or near the floor. In the unlikely event of an evacuation, leave all carry-ons behind and follow the lights quickly and safely to the nearest exit. A sign will indicate you have reached your exit. All exits on this airplane are clearly marked. Take a moment to locate the nearest one. Keep in mind, it may be behind you. All door exits have evacuation slides to use in the unlikely event of an emergency. In a water evacuation, the exit door slides in the front and back of the airplane may be detached and used for flotation. You'll find the exact location on your safety card. When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. If the cabin loses pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. While remaining seated with your seatbelt fastened, pull down on the mask or the red streamer to start the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth and put the elastic band over your head. Then pull the straps to tighten and breathe normally. Remember to always put your own mask on first before helping others. Know that oxygen is flowing, even if the bag doesn't inflate. Life vests are located under, next to, or between your seat. For help locating them, see your safety card. To remove the vest, pull the tab or compartment handle to break the seal. If equipped with an elastic harness, remove the harness before opening the pouch. Remove the vest from the package like this. Put the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist, attach the buckle, and pull tight. Once outside, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube. In the water, a light on your vest will automatically illuminate. If necessary, an infant life vest will be distributed by a crew member. The safety card shows how to use it. It's our honor to care for you on your journey. If you have any questions, please refer to the safety card or feel free to ask any of the cabin crew as they do their final cabin check. And as always, let us know if there's anything we can do to make your journey more enjoyable. American Airlines. You are why we fly.
All right, we're ready to get underway here. I'm going to request pushback for us right now. We're on an Airbus 320, by the way, today. Ground American 412, requesting a pushback. Ground American 412, requesting pushback to steer the aircraft to the right. Ground American 412, requesting pushback end. Ground American 412 with Quebec ready to taxi IFR. Taxiing 2 and holding short of runway 18 left via taxiway Charlie 10, Charlie Charlie 11, Charlie Charlie 12. American 412. Alright, let's get this bad boy underway. This is probably going to be a relatively quick takeoff we have here. I'll tell you about a couple more videos I added to my playlist this morning. Watch both of these because they're going to tell you the vast differences between the cargo planes used by Qatar Airways and FedEx Airways. So I'll tell you more about these videos in a minute. Charlotte Tower, American 412, ready for departure on runway 18 left, IFR to St. Louis. Okay, 3009 on altimeter. It's changed. Clear for takeoff on runway 18 left, American 412. All right, we're gonna I'll give you a little bit of a different angle for the takeoff when we get there. Flight attendants, cabin crew, please prepare for departure. All right, when we get on there in just about a second here, I'm gonna show you a different angle for takeoff. All right, let's get underway. $100 knots. And V1 rotates. Positive rate, you're up. Going to 133.15, American 412, have a good day. Atlanta Center, American 412 is at 2200, climbing to 14,000. Oh. Straighten it out. Just a little. There. Okay, on 125.15, American 412, have a good day. Atlanta Center, American 412 is at 6,900, climbing 14,000. And we are going to climb now. All right, we're over 10,000 feet now, so I'm going to shut down the seatbelts and Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. However, when you are seated, we ask that you do remain seated in case of any unexpected turbulence. Flight attendants are going to come around and start the beverage and snack service. Relax, enjoy your flight on to St. Louis. We will contact you when we get closer. Climbing to flight level 200, American Flt 2. Okay, so we're heading up to 36,000. We're now west of Charlotte, over GHJ. We're probably around 50 miles to the west. We're 55 miles to the west of Stiles right now. Or to the east of Stiles. So, alright, so I was going to tell you about this video. Anyways, I uploaded 2 more videos to my playlist for you of cargo flights. One is by Sam Chewy, who's kind of an amateur journalist. He documents the life of pilots on a Qatar Airways cargo flight. And there's a tour of a couple of FedEx planes too. That's a separate video though. But watch them both together, and they will show you the vast differences between FedEx and a cargo and Qatar. Qatar, they tend to treat everybody like royalty on there. They give I know there's Qatar Airways too, but they have a cargo division. They give some of their snacks to the cargo division, so the pilots can have snacks on the way to wherever it is they're going. And this particular flight that they were flying was like 8 hours. And they do have a little mini cabin on this plane for any guests they may have. Like people flying to, like if they're jump seating to another destination to fly out of there or wherever. American 412 climbing to flight level 300. Okay, so, and then there's a tour of the FedEx planes. It's not as glamorous as the Qatari plane. The FedEx plane is just more like a working class cargo type plane. The jump seats are in the back in front of a bunch of nets. The nets are what save the cargo from going forward. The jump seats though are for the people that are jump seating to other destinations to fly out or go to some kind of company function or whatever. And it's not as glamorous, let's just say, as that. I think the pilots bring their on the FedEx flights do bring their own lunches, and they probably can have all the ho-hos they want. Meaning like hostess ho-hos. It's like a little cake that they have. Or whatever they bring with them. I think you have to bring your own lunch on a FedEx flight. I haven't fully watched through that video, but I will, and I'll get back to you on my next flight and let you know what it's like. All right, so we're going to take a little break. We're about 470 miles from St. Louis. Probably a little over an hour we will be in St. Louis, so I'm going to get back on when we get close. Have a good day. See you shortly. Okay, we are back here. Looks like we got a little storm activity ahead of us, about maybe 60 miles or so. I think we better divert around that. I'm gonna turn to about 280 and we'll divert around that storm, and then I'll get us back there, get us in the little bowling alley. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we do have a little storm activity about 40 miles away from us. We're going to try heading around it. We're going to ask that you take your seats this time and remain seated until we get around this storm. Thank you. Okay, the storms look to be about 30 miles away now, 35 miles, so once we get in about the middle of them, I'll start changing course to about 300. I had to change course to 280 to avoid this, and we're going to get us back into position here shortly. I'm going to turn us to 290 now. Yeah, we better go 300 because another cell about 70 miles away, so Indianapolis Center, American 412, flight level 360. We're going to go back to managed here in a few minutes. Let me turn it to about 160, see if we got any more storms on the way or whatnot. And I got to start descent here in a minute. All right, we might be good to go here after this for a little bit. Probably, and I'm going to turn on the anti-ice as well, so. All right, I'm going to go back to managed and we're going to start our descent. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we've begun our descent into St. Louis. We're going to ask everybody to please maintain your seats. There may be some thunderstorm activity that we may have to steer around, so this could happen at any time, so please keep your seats for the remainder of the flight. Flight attendants are going to come around here shortly when we can get clear and get all the items from the in-flight service. We'll give you a further update as we get closer into St. Louis. Thank you. It's going to be a straight in. We may run into a cell here or there. And I think today we're going to show you the landing from our perspective as well, so alright, we're going to start configs for landing right now. Speed brakes to armed and medium on the set auto brake to low today. Going to KC Center on 127.7. Have a good day. American 412. Kansas City Center, American 412, passing flight level 210. So we're a little east of or a little west of Evansville, Indiana right now. Almost to the Illinois side of this, South Illinois. Right down to 18,000. Kansas City Center, American 412, descending to 18,000. American 412, descending to flight level 150. Alright, we are going to drop to about 8,000 feet right now. Casey Center, American 412, descending to 8,000. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, we're about 50 miles. We're about 55 miles to the southeast of the airport. May experience possibly a little bit of bumpy weather along the way, so everybody please remain in your seats. We should be on the ground here shortly. Kansas City Center, American 412, descending to flight level 6,000 feet. All right, we're about 30 miles from that first turn. I'll drop the first level of flaps once we make that turn. All right, looks like it's 2991 here in St. Louis. Then we're going to drop to 4,000. When we reach the Moods waypoint, we start drop to 4,000, and I'm going to drop first level of flaps. We're about 40 miles from the airport now. Going to 121.025. Have a good day. St. Louis approach, American 412 is at 6,000, descending to 4. 29.89 we gotta go to. Okay, dropping our second level of flaps now. American 412 descending 3,000 feet. Alright, let's get landing system engaged here.
2,500.
Yeah, fairly close to the field where it looks like we're going to have some rain showers in here.
2,500. 2,500.
Okay, and localizer intercepted, so let's do that, and we're going to go into approach mode. Maintaining 3,000, American 412. Okay, gear down, 3 greens. Flight attendants, please prepare for landing. And you can see on our left, there's the Gateway Arch, and there's the city of St. Louis right there. The airport's about 13 miles or so away, and a little bit to the north of St. Louis, actually. Going to 118.5 when inbound. American 412. American 412, 12 miles southeast inbound on ILS runway 30 left approach. Cleared for an ILS approach on runway 30 left, American 412.
$2,500.
All right, we're at 2,300 feet now, descending. Two 2,000 feet. $1,500 feet. Clear to land on runway 30 left, American 412.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. $800 feet.
$500. $400. $400. $300. $200. $100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, retire.
St. Louis ground, American 412 requesting a taxi to the gates. Taxiing to get Alpha 8 using taxiway Romeo Charlie, Alpha 412. American 412. Okay, well, we're here and they are having some technical difficulties, it looks like, with the gate. It'll come back to them sooner or later, but all right, we're gonna Alright, so we're gonna end the live stream right here, and there we go, it finally worked. Alright, they finally got it working. Alright, everybody, we're gonna end the live stream right here. Thank you for being with us on this flight, and we're gonna see you on another flight soon. I think I'm gonna do a low-cost Canadian carrier flight later today, so join us for that, I hope.